Hey guys, so I want to talk about reading fluency and timed reading rates and how to test your student to find out how many words a minute that they read. There are other aspects to reading fluency tests. However, I'm just going to talk about the way to find out how many words a minute that your student reads. So, first off, what you want to do is pick a passage from an unfamiliar book or unfamiliar passage that your students have never seen before. Then what you want to do is count all of the words in the passage. Now, there are lots of different passages that you can find online where the words have already been counted, and you can just type in timed reading or reading fluency, 4th grade or what have you, and you can find lots of passages that are already recommended for that grade level and have already been counted. If you don't want to do that, you can always get a passage from a book that is recommended for whatever grade level you're looking for, whatever grade your child is in, and you can just choose a passage from there, but just know you'll have to count all of the words. If you're not sure what grade level the passage is from, if it's a book, then you can always go to scholastic.com and look up the book and look beside the book, and it should tell you what grade the book is recommended for. So what you're going to do is once you find a passage and you have all of the words, you know how many words are in it, you're going to make 2 copies, 1 copy for you and 1 copy for your student. You're going to set a timer. Now, a lot of people set a timer for 1 minute, but what I do is I just let the student continue reading until they're finished. So I don't stop them after a minute. I just let them read all of the words. So you're going to let your student read, and while they're reading, you're going to hold your copy, and you're going to mark off any words that they get that are wrong, any words that they mispronounce, and any words that they skip over. Now, if they say a word and then they correct themselves, then that word is counted as correct, so you would not mark that off. So you got to be careful of that. Don't mark off anything that they corrected themselves on. At the end of their reading, so once they're done, you stop the stopwatch. For me, like I said, I don't stop at a minute. I let them continue reading until they're done. So let's say your student read for 2 minutes, and the passage had 100 words. Well, let's say that your student got 10 of those words wrong. So you're going to, so they either skipped the words, they got them wrong, whatever. You're going to subtract that amount of words that they got incorrect that you had to mark off, and what you have after that is their final, amount of words that they read. If they got it wrong, it's not counted that they read it. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take that final number and you're going to divide it by the amount of time it took for them to read it. So 90 divided by 2 is 45. So your student would have read 45 words per minute. And simple as that. Like I said, there are other aspects to a reading fluency test that you can look into, everything from the way that their inflections are when they read to thinking about, are they reading each and every word, or are they reading words and whole phrases? So that's something you might want to look into to get an even fuller picture of how your child is reading, but I'm just talking about how many words per minute that they read. So once you have their words per minute, you can go online and look at there's several websites that will have charts that will let you know what grade level that amount of words per minute is typical of. So maybe that would be typical of a 2nd grader. And it would also, there are also websites that will give you even more information, say, not only is that 2nd grade, but I don't know if that's actually 2nd grade, I'm just guessing, but that 2nd grade in the spring or 2nd grade in the winter. Because again, as the year goes on, those scores or these numbers are expected to change. So that is how I test the boys' reading fluency. one thing to remember is this is just a gauge for you, okay? This is not something that that you want to try to measure your kids by, as far as thinking that if you went to public school, or if you went, you know, and pulled into the nearest public school, that every kid would be reading at whatever the chart says that they should be reading at. That's not true, and actually more often than not, it's not true. This is just something for you to know about where your child is in comparison to what is recommended he be at. That doesn't necessarily mean that all the other kids are there. So this is for you to have a gauge at where your child is, and if you need to work on something, or should you make his or her reading selections harder, should you challenge them more, that type of thing. So, you know, if your kid is a bit below what they say, what the chart says, that's not a reason to panic. It just means, you know, you might want to step up their reading time, or you might want to change something, or maybe your kid just doesn't, you know, has always been a little behind in reading, and that's okay too. So I just wanted to make that clear. You know, don't think that just because the chart says that, that's where all the other kids are. Most often than not, most of the other kids are not reading at the grade level that the chart says. So that is how you test words per minute, and it's part of a reading fluency assessment. And thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.